Hey y'all, welcome to the Moving with Millennials podcast with your favorite millennial realtors.
We are 4 top producing agents in the DFW area, and we are ready to share the good, bad, and the real life of real estate.
Whether you're thinking about getting into real estate, already an agent, or just curious about what your agent really does, join us.
Tune in every Wednesday to see what it's really like to be on this side of the transaction.
Hey y'all, welcome to this week's episode of Moving with Millennials. Today I'm super excited to introduce you to someone. As you can see, or what you will know if you're listening in, Brandie's actually not with us, so we brought in a special guest for you guys to talk about content creation. So Amanda Webb is the owner of Gravity Real Estate Marketing. I've known her for a really long time. We went to college together, but we didn't know each other in college.
No, we met each other because of Brian's ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah, because I sold her a house.
Yes,
and then you guys were looking to buy a house, so I helped you and Christian buy a house. Yes. Cool. So I brought her in because I wanted to talk about content creation. So Amanda, why don't you start off by telling a little bit about yourself, how you got into Gravity Real Estate Marketing as well.
So real estate, it's actually a really funny story how I fell into it. I was working for a dating service at the time, and I was looking for a new job, and had applied to a Coldwell Banker, and I actually thought I was applying for a marketing coordinator position with a bank because I knew nothing about real estate. I knew nothing about real estate, right? So went in and had a couple of phone interviews, and then went in for my first in-person interview. And it was like the absolute worst interview I've ever had. Like, it was right after my house flooded, like 6 weeks after we moved into the house. And the whole time that I'm in there interviewing, I can hear my phone going off, and it's insurance, it's the contractor, it's my husband. And I just hear my phone. Yes. And the gentleman that interviewed me asked me a question, and I looked at him and I was just like, I have no idea. And I just came out of my mouth. So I was like, oh my God. And then I told him what was going on. And so he was like, well, it sounds like you have a lot going on. So we'll just go ahead and wrap this up and we'll be in touch. And I was like, I left there crying, called my husband. I was like, oh no, I'm not getting this job. And go home and sent him an email, thanking him for his time, apologizing. And that was on a Friday, and he hired me Monday. He was
wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cool.
He was like, I could tell, I looked at your portfolio, you knew what you were doing, you have no problem admitting when you are going to, he was like, you're exactly kind of
Everyone
what I'm looking
has
for.
Off days.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And so I was so thankful how that all kind of fell into place. So I got in there, and again, still didn't really know much about real estate. So he paid for me to get my license, and he just started shoving everything to me. So I learned how to take, what real estate was and combine it with my marketing expertise. And then I started going out and teaching agents how to use their tools to market themselves. And then agents started asking if they could pay me under the table and do stuff on the side. There just came a time after being there for 3.5, almost 4 years, that it was like, okay, I've always wanted to start my own business, never knew what I wanted to do. And it was the perfect timing for me to branch off. And so the first phone call I made was to Mariana to kind of get some, feedback on, this is what I want to do. Is it a good idea? And then I remember we were sitting at happy hour, and she was like, hold on. And pulled out her iPad and just started taking down notes and showing me everything that other people are doing. And that was in, I think, October of 2018, and officially launched in January of 19.
Yeah. That's so cool.
That sounds exactly like Mariana.
Taking notes. Yes, I know.
Okay, yeah.
I'm one of those, I don't know how much feedback you want, but I'll give you what you want.
I mean, as soon as I launched, because I still had I left the company, Coldwell Banker, on really good terms. So even to this day, about 80% of my clients come from Coldwell Banker. I have agents there that will actually reach out to me to help them with stuff instead of going to their marketing department because they trust me. Mariana brought me in for several trainings that first year and had me, you had one of those tech things
at the tech day.
Yeah.
That was before, So we did a big tech day event where we would bring in basically technology driven people or social media driven people, and to teach a certain topic. You talked about, I think, social media in general.
Creating a content calendar. And
because I think, so you mentioned 2018 is when you got in, right? Yeah, that was about the time I feel like content creation for social media became, even though social before then was a big thing, I think there was a light bulb that switched with Instagram becoming now the #1 platform for just really anything almost. Yeah. But for real estate agents, where content creation was kind of a big thing, and agents are struggling, or we're struggling with the idea. I feel like we're you know, we sell real estate, but we're also like expected to like come in and also like have the online presence with the social media, the website, all that. So we're expected to be content creators as well, creators, creators as well. And it's like, it hit me where I was like, I'm not a content creator. Like, I'm not very good at storytelling, you know, when it comes to writing blogs, things like that. So like hiring that out, I think has been like my number one best kept secret, really, is that it's like, you know, most of the stuff that's either on my website or social media is someone doing that kind of behind the scene content stuff. Even though I could, and I know the things, you're able to take it and bring it to life and make it even prettier. So I remember you coming to me and asking some of that stuff.
Just making sure I had a good idea, because it's like, you don't want to start a business if there's not a need for it. And Mariana was like, yes, there is.
Sure.
Definitely.
Well, because part of what we do, like, we obviously sell houses, but we're so relationship based. If you're a really good agent, you're relationship based instead of transaction based, and that comes with having to market yourself.
Yes.
That's just the reality of the business. Is you're not selling yourself, but you're certainly marketing yourself at all times. It's really important to know that, and really important to know the different ways that you can do that. So
well, but you kind of are selling yourself if you stop and think about it, because you can pick any agent to help you go buy a house. You pick an agent based on someone that you vibe with, someone that you trust. So you really are kind of selling yourself, and you're selling that relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely.
I feel like you talk about that a lot actually in your videos. I wanted to talk about TikTok because I think that's like the new and cool hip thing, and everyone's like talking about TikTok now. But you talk a lot about in your videos like you have to relate with someone, or you know, you bring up like wine, or you bring up like I've got a cat, so it's like talking about my cat, so people can relate to me. It has nothing to do with real estate, but they connect with me because of that. So tell us a little more about like your whole theory behind that.
Yeah, so I actually, fun fact, I haven't posted a TikTok in a month just because I had to take a break. Like, I needed a social media break.
Oh my gosh. I just had one the past week.
I actually took a whole month off just before I came up here, recorded several videos that I have to get out. But what I really love about TikTok is they will continue pushing your stuff out for 90 days to get in front of new people.
So you're still getting people liking it.
I'm still getting engagement on these videos. I still grew throughout the month of September. I don't know by how many, much slower than I have, you know, previously. But that's one of the things that I love about TikTok is what their platform is built on is getting you in front of strangers. Like your default feed is your For You page. So when you, and it's not the people that you're following, it's new people. So even though you're going to see a lot of, you know, people that you are following will land on your For You page, that's not going to be the first content that you see. It's going to be strangers. And that's why TikTok is pushing their stuff out over the course of 90 days. So basically, just a quick overview of the algorithm is, you know, you post a piece of content and it's going to send it out to like a small group, and then depending on how well it goes, and then it's going to go bigger and bigger and bigger. So once it gets past, you know, a certain point, then that's when you can consider yourself viral, and it's going to, you know, continue to grow. Now, kind of going back to what you were saying, you know, posting an arrangement of different things. The biggest problem I have seen with real estate agents and questions that I get is, you know, kind of what do I post? And I'm like, the first thing I tell them is quit posting about real estate. Like, just stop. I mean, you're going to want real estate stuff in there, but you're not going to grow your audience based on your real estate. You're going to grow your audience based on who you connect with. So start talking about your hobbies or things that you enjoy doing. And really, first and foremost, think about, okay, why do you follow this person? Go look at some of the people you follow. Why do you follow them? What is it about them that you enjoy?
To talk about Stanley Cups.
Vloggers. I know. I was just thinking about.
But it still needs to be professional in a way.
Yes and no. I mean, you can definitely make it fun.
Because we all know, you know, a couple people that we follow on TikTok or have seen videos.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And some of them I would say are like borderline inappropriate. But
like, you definitely want to be appropriate, but you don't necessarily have to be quote unquote professional. Like
that's a fine line, I think.
I think it's how you do it. So when I say professional, I mean like
you have to be talking real estate all the time, right?
No,
that's what I mean. Like, that's
you don't want to be talking.
She's saying like if you were being professional, you would be talking about work the entire time.
Well, I guess it kind of goes back to what do you mean by unprofessional?
Like inappropriate clothing and like just things you would not say to a client or like act.
I think that's one thing. I think what she more means is like, you don't have to talk about real estate. Like me talking about my cat isn't necessarily professional. You know what I'm saying? I have a standard that when I talk about my cat, it's not like I have like a bikini on while I talk about her, you know.
I've recorded videos in the pool. I mean, no, seriously, I've recorded videos from the pool.
I saw
wait on my float.
But I mean,
Wow,
like,
that's appropriate because you're at the pool.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So
we're not dancing and talking.
Correct.
Okay. So I guess maybe I would need to see exactly what.
We'll be happy to show and show and tell.
So, but like it's all kind of goes back to what you consider professional or unprofessional. With TikTok, what I love about it is it's all about taking a trend and kind of adapting it to your own. So one of my favorite people to follow on TikTok, speaking of millennials, is Ron. Do y'all follow Ron?
No, Ron who?
That's just his handle. It's just
okay.
Ron.
Okay.
Or
Like share.
no, I take it back. It's Rod.
Rod. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like he does everything.
Shared
Like
some of his stuff.
he does nothing but make fun of what it's like to be a millennial. That's all he does. And so that's why I enjoy following him, because I'm like, I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you want to do as well, is put something out. So you're going to start with your bigger audience. You want to grow your audience based on people who can relate to you. So something you, so mom and cat stuff. I will do stuff about being a childless millennial, being a dog mom, loving wine, that sort of thing. I also do a lot of like work-life balance and boundaries. So that's gonna be your big grab.
Like a pillar.
Yes. And then you're slowly going to move them in to wanting to work with you. So while, yes, you do want to post, real estate stuff, how can you take what you're posting about that real estate stuff and adapt it to who you want to work with?
So how often would you switch between like real estate and just in
Personal.
general? Yeah.
You only want about 20% of your content to be real estate.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
agree with
80-20
that.
rule.
And that's why I feel like, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I have 2 Instagram accounts. I have one that's personal, one that's business. And on the business one, because I wanted to use that for Modernist Real Estate Group, and then mine's kind of my own. I do realize I do get more interaction on my personal one because of course I'm talking about like the baby now and my cat and all the things that are personal. Like they rather see really that kind of stuff. And then I do post some real estate on there too, just kind of like in between all that. But I can tell that my engagement's definitely more towards the personal. Now on my business page, the engagement just isn't as much because I do post pretty much all real estate to that one, and I do realize I need to pull in some more personal.
So what you could do is stop and think for a second. You're like, okay, I am a new mom. So how can you take being a new mom and tie it into a problem you've seen other new moms have when it comes to buying a home or selling a home?
Okay.
Or balancing being a new mom
being
and
a
an
real
agent.
estate
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I am starting to kind of talk more about that, like being a mom right now and doing work. So it's like I'm trying to find that, like, I don't know, not really like a switch, but I'm trying to find like how I'm managing that so I can talk about it. So I get what you're saying, and it's like just trying to find that like little piece of it.
So that's where your stories are really going to start to come in.
Yeah.
How can you take literally this story, this experience of yours, and share it with someone else while solving a problem that they may have?
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of build your content.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. Okay, so we talked about TikTok, and I love it. So that's definitely one. I feel like I did more TikToks. I haven't done a TikTok in a while, but
I guess I took
know.
that month off.
I think I've done one.
yeah, or Reels.
I
Either
might-
one.
Yeah, I've done
It's kind of
Reels,
the
for
same.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. Can I ask a question about the algorithm? Like Instagram's always changing their algorithm, but like you said, TikTok was different. Like, do they ever change their algorithm, or is it always that 90-day?
Yeah, so they have changed it several times. And so I would say, and they're actually getting ready to make a few other changes with it. What I love is no one saw TikTok coming in and dominating the social media platforms like it has. And because no one saw that coming, everyone thought it was just going to be like this Gen Z dancing app.
That's what I thought
Which
it
I feel
was.
like is kind of, I don't know.
That's what everyone thought it was going to be. But they literally came in, and I believe, and this is just my opinion, a lot of it had to do with the pandemic. People stumbled on the app and just started kind of playing with it. And there are several creators that are on there now that are full-time content creators that started their platform because of the pandemic. They had nothing else to do. no one saw TikTok coming in and dominating the way it has. And it's dominating so much that Google is now making adjustments to start sourcing TikTok videos. So when you get on Google and you're searching for something, short form videos from TikTok are now showing up. So
I think I have noticed that. Yeah.
Yes. And so what they're doing is they just recently, in the last, I think, month or so, the last 4 to 6 weeks, they're slowly rolling out longer videos. So depending on how many followers you have, you can get up to 10 minutes on a video now. And they are starting to increase the number of characters in your caption.
Yeah,
so it used to be short, like Twitter, where it was like 180 characters or something. They're bumping it up, and they've slowly been bumping it up. But I think I heard yesterday, the day before, that they're now going to bump it up to 2,000 characters. Don't hold me to that number, but I think I heard that.
I think I just saw a TikTok, and it had like a whole like check the whatever,
the
and
caption.
it was like a whole caption, of like info.
Yeah,
that's one of my least favorite things about Instagram, though, are the long captions. I'm like, I don't have time.
Yeah, I'm guilty of
I
that.
don't want to read your novel.
Well, actually, let's talk about that. Let's talk about caption creation, because I mean, I've already said this, but like my captions, like I probably create maybe 10% of my captions. The other parts, I use a platform like something like what you have and that you offer to agents, to where it's like I either take pieces from those captions to create the captions, or I find different places to create captions, if you will. So it's not like I'm coming up with everything, but how important are captions? Why are they important? Talk a little bit about that.
So with captions, what's important is that it in some way tells your followers what you want them to do and gives them a reason to continue reading everything. So let's say, and it's one of those deals where not every caption is going to have like a full on like call to action, where it's like and share this post, or go click the link in my bio. You're not always going to have like a specific call to action like that, but it may be something like share your thoughts, or
Tell me more.
Yeah, like this post if you can relate. So sometimes it's just like an engagement sort of thing. With your captions, more than anything, is you just want to make sure it complements whatever the overall graphic is. So if you can get the majority of whatever
the story behind.
Yeah. So for me, if I get more stuff, if I do a carousel and I can get the bigger points on the carousel, I mean, I'm gonna write 1 or 2 sentences in the caption.
Yeah.
It's gonna be shorter.
Okay, yeah.
So it's gonna kind of vary on what you're sharing with the actual post itself. And the same thing like with short form videos, whether that's Reels or TikTok. If I can get more in the video, I'm gonna keep their attention longer as opposed to putting it into the caption. Now on the flip side of that, with both TikTok and Instagram Reels, if you capture their attention with the video and you're like, hey, there's more info in the caption, well, on Instagram Reels especially, the video keeps playing. So those are more and more views. So they're putting more stuff in a caption to get you to go read the caption, to get that video to continue playing, which is going to push it out to more people.
Oh.
I didn't
think
either.
about that.
That's so cool.
See, and I would say I probably read, like, I agree with what you're saying, because, like, sometimes if I see a really long caption, I'll probably skim through and just pick the pieces, at least the idea of what I'm, get an idea of what the content is about. And then sometimes it's like, it'll have like a lot of text at the top, and then I'll see bullet points. I sometimes find myself just skipping down to the bullet points, if that makes sense, and just reading what those steps are, and then not even caring what the rest of the content says.
Yeah.
So I try to keep that in mind in what I'm watching or what I'm doing when I'm on social media, how I'm engaging with those posts when I'm actually posting something as well, because I know, what I'm thinking most people are doing too.
Right.
And I think what often people forget, and I struggle with this sometimes too, and I think just being marketers in general, and as agents, you've got to kind of step into that marketing mindset, or just as business owners in general. We always feel like we need to reinvent the wheel, and I'm just as guilty of this. But it's like, okay, you can use a really long caption. So let's say one time you do write this really long caption that is, almost maxing out your Instagram space. Okay, and it's got the different bullet points. Well, now instead of reusing that same long caption, take each bullet point and go use it for its own post. So it's like, okay, here are 5 reasons why you need to, do here are 5 ways to update your curb appeal. And then you're going to share those for each bullet point, and then you can say, each of those 5 is another post.
Yeah. I love repurposing content. Like someone told me a long time ago, it was probably at one of these tech days. I don't think it was you that brought this up. And one of the other people that was there, they were talking about how you can take a video or like a topic, you can take a topic and you can create a blog from that. You can create a video from that. You can create mini videos, like you just said. Here's 10 steps to the home buying process, but then that's also 10 more videos about each step. And then you can also do a Facebook post, an Instagram post. It's like you can use the same content and make 10 different pieces out of it. And so I try to do that, like each month have like a theme, if you will, where it's like, okay, I'm going to talk about my home buying process, or home buying guide. So let's talk about that and let's pick it apart, and then also focus on like giving it away, doing a video around it. So I know, I love that idea of like repurposing content like that.
So you mentioned the 80-20 rule, like 20% real estate, 80 personal. Do you have pointers on like how often you post or posting times like throughout the week? Like what would you
So it's really going to depend on the platform, to be totally honest, especially when you are just starting out. So when you are just starting out, say like on Instagram, I would say post 1, maybe 2 times a day. And right now I would really focus on like carousels and reels. Those are going to get you the most engagement and going to help you with the biggest growth. Something else to be mindful of over on Instagram are the uses of hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags, but the president CEOs of Instagram recently put out that if you do use up to the 30, sometimes you can confuse the algorithm. So he's telling people to really focus on between like 8 to 12 hashtags. So when it comes to that, that's just a game of playing, like what works for you and your audience. But starting out, you're going to want to do it a lot more often. And it's and then like over on TikTok, when I first started out and decided I was going to give TikTok a real try, what I did is I posted 3 times a day for 30 days. And I was able to hit my 1,000 plus very quickly doing that. But what I really love with TikTok is I would literally get up, and that was the first thing I did. I'd record 3 videos and then set an alarm for myself. And I gave myself 20 minutes to record those 3 videos. And whatever was done, and I moved on. Because just like me, and I feel like this is going to like really resonate with you by that look, we cannot be perfectionists. And that's what TikTok really loves. They want the real, raw, authentic you. So there are videos of me that it looks like I have makeup on, but I'm using a TikTok filter.
Oh, I love filters. Mariana and I are big fans.
The no filter.
Whenever it went away for like a minute, we were like texting.
We're like, oh my gosh, look at what I look like.
Seriously, set yourself an alarm or a timer for 15-20 minutes. And pick what you're going to record. Like, so the night before when you're sitting there and you're just scrolling, pick your 3 sounds.
Okay, that's what I was saying. I can even plan in 20 minutes. So that's
right. Well,
I can even come up with concepts that quickly.
So just the recording takes you 20 minutes.
Yes.
And I mean, which makes sense. If you have 3 like 1 minute long videos to actually record, you know what I'm saying? It should take that less.
Or come join me inside of my program and I give you new prompts every 2 weeks.
Yeah, she's really good with the prompts and stuff too. No, but I remember you gave me a great idea when it came to video creating, like when it came to the reels and the TikToks, because I would never know. I would overthink like what the recording was, the voiceover part of it versus what I wanted the points to be. So you told me, you're like, no, just record the video. So like record the voiceover. So whatever it is, like the silly voiceover. And then you can always go back, like, so record like 10 of those or whatever when I have my hair and makeup all done, right? I try to batch record, or I used to. I really haven't done, like I said, ever since I've had a kid, I feel like I'm not doing any of this anymore.
Welcome to life.
But I would, right? But I would batch record the videos real quick. And then from there, I would go back later and say, okay, this one would be great for 3 steps to, pre-qualification or whatever the topic was. But I didn't know what I was going to make the topic until,
just leave them sitting in your draft. So like sometimes like if you're sitting and scrolling at night and you haven't, completely gone to your relax mode, like if you're still somewhat in a situation where you could record and you see a video or a sound that you like, stop, record it, and then let it sit in your drafts and think on, okay, how do I want to tie this in? Because sometimes it's not always going to hit you, but you're like, I really like that sound. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I love all this. Okay, so there's 2 questions on here. I think we kind of already talked about one, but what would you say is the most important thing an agent can do when it comes to real estate marketing?
In general, it's to build that relationship and to stop talking about real estate. So
Be personable.
Yes, be a lot more personable. So, and you want to be consistent. So when I say, and like I was saying, you're not going to completely stop talking about real estate altogether. You just want to not make that the only thing you talk about.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I preach with my one-on-one clients is, okay, what's going on in the community? What events are coming up? What photos do you have from the event last year? What can someone expect? So we really push out like what's going on in the local community. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an event. It could be things coming up. Okay, so we're in election season. So what bonds are people going to be voting on? And
I have no idea.
You know, well, so those are some things that you could look up.
Yeah.
What new businesses are coming to town? What new developments are coming to town? You know, stuff like that.
Right.
If there is a prominent member in the community that's doing something, or a local high schooler or, you know, student that's doing something, kind of feature them, let it be known that you are the community expert. You know everything that's going on in the community. To find the information on like the bonds and stuff, just go to your city council's website.
Yeah. No, I like that idea. Okay, cool. And then the other question I had was, you talk a lot about email marketing in your
That's
stuff.
this much theme, actually.
Yes. Oh, really? Oh, well, what do you know? So tell us a little bit about like why is it important to have that email list, and how can they really get started in getting an email list?
So what a lot of agents don't realize is your email list is the lifeline of your business. It is the most important tool you will ever have for your business, because you do not own your social media platforms.
Yeah.
And unless you build your real estate website from the ground up, like through WordPress, and you are hosting it on like GoDaddy or Bluehost or something like that, you don't own your website. Like if you are running it through Market Leader, or I work with agents who have Moxie or whatever, like those companies own your website. You own the content, but the actual platform they own. So let's say you do something to let your contract lapse with your website, your website's gone. Or if you do something to upset one of the social media platforms and you get locked out or it gets hacked, all of those followers,
I've had people that happen to them.
it's gone.
I'd be in panic mode.
Me too.
Yeah. And now you're stuck starting over from scratch, building that following again.
Yeah.
Well, with your email list, all you have to do is keep backing up your email list and download that Excel sheet.
Yeah.
You know, keep a backup copy. You own your email list. You own that data. So that is the only piece of your business that you solely own. So that's the number one reason you want to grow your email list.
Yeah.
And another thing that I've noticed with agents is they are trying to use social media as a way to get sales right then. And while I'm not saying it's impossible, because I know people who have gotten like straight leads off of listings, that's not the norm. You're not going to sell a house directly by a Facebook post. What you're going to do is you're going to build your audience. You're going to get that audience on your email list, and then you're going to market to them through social media and through your email. So you're going to hit them in 2 places. More than anything, email is the number one piece of digital marketing that has the highest ROI. So, and it's the cheapest. So that's why it has the highest return on investment. And the best way to get people onto your email list is to give them something for free.
Yeah.
Give
Freebies.
them an opt-in. So it's called opt-in, freebie, lead magnet.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. And then what you're going to do is, so you're going to promote this lead magnet. So let's say it's the buyer's guide. You're going to promote this buyer's guide. You're going to tell people, hey, go click the link in my bio. I have a full breakdown of everything you need to know to buy a home. And I'm also including a budget checklist if you're saving for your down payment, sort of thing. So go get that link. So they're going to go there, they're going to click the link, they're going to go to a landing page, and they're going to put in their name and email. And this may be a hot take, but just ask for the name and email. When they're ready, they're going to give you their phone number. And you can have it on there, but don't make it a requirement, because if they're required to put it on there, they're more likely to
back out of the
either back out, or they're going to give you a fake one anyways.
That would be me.
That's true.
I wouldn't
So
put my
you
number.
can have the number on there, but don't make it a required. So they're going to put in their information, and then you're going to get notified. But that's a lead right there for you that you just captured from your social media. So you have their contact information. You're going to put them into your CRM, and now they have the free guide that they wanted. Now what you're going to do is send them through a funnel, and you want to have I suggest a 3 to 5 email series, a welcome series that's going to go out right away, and the goal is to get them to set up a buyer consultation with you.
Yeah.
And then if they don't do that, then you just segment them into your newsletter. Another hot take, email your list weekly. Don't just do it once a month.
Yeah.
You're more likely to stay top of mind. And as a quick example of this is a client that I have out in Possum Kingdom. And she has started in real estate in 2015. She works Possum Kingdom and Mineral Wells, which are 2 small towns, West Texas, out about an hour and a half past Fort Worth. She is number 89 in the state of Texas as a real estate agent. And she primarily does lots and land, and she does have some resale homes, but she doesn't have listings over 500,000, and about 20% of her listings are under 10 grand because it's just the land.
Right.
And she's number 89 in the state.
Wow. So she does a lot of volume or transactions.
Yes. Yeah. But we took her email open rate from 10 to 12% to 55%.
Wow.
That's good.
Which is unheard of. And she gets about half of her business now comes from referrals.
Yeah.
Off of the email list.
I actually have heard, I hear a lot of people talk about email lists, and it's not just in real estate. Like, they talk about email lists all the time. If you know who Jenna Kutcher is, she talks about email lists. I mean, all the like hot bloggers and people that have like email, as part of their campaigning or whatever you want to call it, they all talk about email lists, like having people, create email lists. And so I know, like, for me, for example, like sometimes I get an email and I may just even like click, delete. I still, even from day one and being in real estate, I still like, I know the importance of still sending that email. May not necessarily be like what content's in there, but they see my name at least once a week because of that.
To kind of get around that, it's going to start with your subject line, your subject line, and if you do a pre-header. Yes. So the more, I guess, kind of curious or thought-provoking your subject line is, the more your people are going to open it and actually engage.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree because I do open, but what I mean by that is even if I don't end up reading something, I'm at least seeing that person's name, however often they're sending me an email, and I think about them. And then the other part of that is maybe I do enjoy the subject line enough to click into it. I can't say I read the whole entire, like I send a monthly newsletter, and I can't imagine that someone sits there and reads the whole monthly newsletter. I mean, I probably talk about like 6 different topics,
break it down to one email.
Monthly.
Well, that's why I say do it weekly. So you want to.
Well, no.
So you look at your 6 different topics.
Yeah.
So when you are sharing information on those 6 different topics, that's already written out.
Yeah.
Now instead of sending it all as one email, break it into 6.
Into all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you want one email, one goal.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I just get a million emails, so I feel like I just feel, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about weekly emails just because I get so annoyed with.
I do bi-weekly. I do it twice a week, or Tuesdays and Fridays. But I do stuff a little bit different, obviously, when I'm selling. And that's actually really common in the digital space is to do 1 to 2 emails per week. But the way you can get your open rate up and engagement up the same way I did with this particular client, and they're not just opening, like she actually gets responses on these emails. She averages anywhere from 3 to 5 per email that we send out. So people are engaging and they're responding. You do it by sharing information that they care about.
Yeah. That makes sense. I have a pretty good open rate, but my fear is like if I send them weekly, they're going to unsubscribe, because I haven't had anyone unsubscribe.
So try bi-weekly. Start with twice a month.
So also, would you agree or disagree? Because like my monthly newsletter goes to my sphere and like people that actually know me. You know what I'm saying? Like they like are past clients, friends, family, that kind of thing. So I kind of almost try to keep that list like small, like like my VIPs is what I call them. So they're in my VIP Facebook group, and they're also getting that monthly newsletter, and it's like they can kind of expect once a month to kind of get it. I do want to set up more like where it's more weekly. Like I feel like they have to opt in for something like that, right? Like I feel like my sphere, even though they worked with me, they kind of opted in to get a monthly newsletter. I don't know if they quite opted in to want to get a weekly newsletter for me. Does that make sense?
The way I set it up is it doesn't look like a newsletter. It just looks like I'm sending you an email.
Yeah, and I do that too, because I don't know what platforms you use, but I use Flowdesk. So Flowdesk, you can like say like hi and then like first name or whatever, and it will automatically prompt it.
But I don't have like a big,
you have
I don't use any visuals.
Right.
Yeah. It's formatted with like line breaks and stuff, but I don't have any visuals. I try to keep it under 300 words. Get to the point, it's short and sweet. Yeah, just like I'm gonna send an email directly to you. So it looks
that
like
makes more sense than like the kind of email I'm sending is like all visual, some text. Okay,
you want it to look like a personalized email sending directly to you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. This is like getting me excited to like redo my email campaign, but also overwhelming at the same time.
I know.
It's like an ongoing thing. I feel like ever since I got into real estate almost 10 years ago, it's like I've always been like, okay, I need to get my email campaigns in order. And then next year I'm like, I need to get my email campaigns in order, and it's like I keep doing it, and I do have some that are set, but it's still just such a task.
It is.
Okay, what else? I have one more question for Amanda, but do you guys have any other questions?
There's something earlier and I forget what I was gonna ask.
That's okay. Well, one other question I have. So all this together, you have a program where you help agents with doing this. So tell us a little bit about that program, because this is overwhelming me to the point that I want to leverage and hire someone out to do all this.
Right.
So tell us a little more about that program and why it's important that they're leveraging a program like yours.
So I have a monthly subscription. It's called Rockstar Agent because I want y'all to be rock stars, and I tend to, when people do really great, I'm like, you're a rock star. So that's kind of how the name came about. And what it is, it's a complete digital marketing plan, completely done for you. All you do is copy, paste, schedule. So you're going to get TikTok prompts. So technically that's not a copy, paste schedule because you are going to have to record your videos, but I literally tell you, here's the sound, here's the concept, and here's an example sort of thing. So some of them will connect with a trend or sound. Some of them are just, hey, it's time for you to talk into the camera because you do want to use your voice. You don't want to just use trends. So you're going to get the TikTok prompts. You're going to get social media, and with the Instagram/Facebook social media, it comes in two parts. So you have like your daily generic postings that come with the caption and the hashtag. So it's very kind of generic info. So your real estate information, home design, homeowner tips, that sort of thing. But I also am going to give you prompts there as well. So that way, because I added that, I was doing that long before TikTok kind of really came around. So you're going to get video ideas, photo ideas, and conversation starters to get your engagement up and really kind of bring that personality into your online marketing. I provide you with the lead magnets and the sales funnels and the landing page, all built through Canva, so you can go in and customize it to yourself and just quickly add your branding. And I actually show you how to use a free form to collect those leads and embed it there for you. I also provide you with blog and short form blogs, so you can copy and paste those onto your website. And so you have a reason to send people to your website, but I also include that weekly email for you so you can leverage what you're putting on your website to your database, so they have a reason to go to your website every week, and you're kind of sharing that information. So that's kind of like your entire digital marketing. So you got the social media, blogs, and email all available for you. You have the funnels to collect the emails, and then in addition, I try to put out 2 to 3 mini courses in there each year. So there's 3 in there right now, awesome. Mini courses.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
They get a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that you were saying like even the emails, like they don't even have to create it. So really what it sounds like is
copy paste,
it's done. Don't have to even think about it. Like you said, I'm an overthinker, so I definitely overthink.
You are?
Oh, Maggie's a double overthinker.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So I like that it's like something that's already done. Don't think about it. Put it together. Set it. Forget it. And do it. Kind of thing.
Yep.
So and I think I know I already said this, but it's like us as real estate agents, we're expected to not only sell real estate, but to market ourselves. Be the social content creators, all that kind of stuff. And then if you're like Maggie or I or Jake sometimes, it's like we overthink it so much to the point that it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then I go create it and I overthink it because I'm like, oh, I don't like the way that sounds, and then I have to create it again. It takes me so long.
Yeah.
So long
I
to
also
create some of
think
this
that's
stuff.
one of the rules of being a millennial. You have to have anxiety and overthink everything.
Oh yeah, and be on some sort of medication for
Yes,
it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. We talk about therapy all the time on the podcast.
We won't even go
So
into what
true.
I learned in therapy on Friday.
Yeah, we definitely. This is why we started the podcast. Half
Yeah.
of it is therapy.
Yeah.
It
for
really
us.
is.
Well, I think I remember, just change of subject with therapy. The one time that I went with you and Jake and I know a couple other people there.
We talked about
Yeah, and everyone, I was like, yeah, I do therapy on these days, and you're like, this is my day, and then whoever else was like, yeah, I go, and Mariana was like,
Yeah.
what? Do I need a therapist?
Yes, I felt left out that I
Yeah.
wasn't in therapy. I think you guys were talking about it because I was asking y'all about therapy because it was like I was trying to get over that hump of like going to therapy, and it was like knowing that others around me were doing it and talking about it. It really helped me, and I know I've talked to Jake about it before. And I mean, I don't think I've ever said this to you, but I was like thanking Jake for like talking to me about it and being so open about it, because then I ended up going to therapy, and it's been great since.
Best thing I've ever done.
I'm down from weekly to once a month, so I feel like I'm doing great.
You're
right
almost
now.
healed.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's the thing, is you're gonna go through waves, because I was the same
Absolutely.
way.
Exactly. Well, and we do that at the end where she's like, "Do you still feel good about once a month right now?" And I'm like, I actually went from 3 weeks recently to now 1 month, and it's like I'm sure at some points I'll want back to weekly. So, but no, I love that. I love that it's already there for you. And what we want to do is I'm gonna actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I want to talk about you like for the rest of the week, like pretty much like promote your program to the agents, because we get asked all the time, like, the number one question, can y'all agree, is where do you get your content? Where do you get your content? And we're like, well, and we kind of like share, and we talk about like some of these things that we've mentioned, but we say there are programs out there that you can hire someone to create content for you. Instead of like spending all that time doing it, someone who, that's your job, that's what you do full time, allow them to create that content, and you can turn their content and make it into your own. And I know that's something we do as well. So when you see my content, it's not, even though if maybe I'm using the same program that you have and another agent has it too, sometimes you're not even going to be able to tell it's the same place we're getting it from, because we're creating it and making it our own also. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
So.
And if they go to gravityrealestatemarketing.com/rockstar-agent, they can actually sign up for a 2-week free trial.
Perfect.
So 14 days, can get in there, take a look at everything. So the new TikTok drops every other Tuesday. And so I'm actually going home to finish up those to upload to drop tomorrow. And then the new blogs and social media drop on the 25th of for the following month.
Love it. And you also do, maybe this is something outside of the program, but do you still do like website content creation, that kind of stuff? Because if you go to my website, like 90% is you. Like you created all that content on it. It was on a different platform, and I just took the same content and put it on there recently. But yeah, you created all my content. So everyone always asks me, who did your website? I'm like, well, we kind of designed it, but I got all the content from you because I'm not good at that. So
they can reach out, and we'll set up a call, find out how many pages they need written, kind of what and I'll kind of get an idea of what their brand is, and write all the website content.
Well, is there anything else you want agents to know about you, or content, or your program? Don't ever forget anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, come join us inside of Rockstar Agent. I keep it small. I don't allow more than 100 agents in there. So we are a little more than a quarter of the way full at the moment. It's kind of been crazy making some changes. So come join us inside of there. So I keep it small for a reason. I don't want thousands of people sharing the same content. If you happen to be part of Curated Social, I know that's a big marketing membership as well. I'm now one of their featured partners, so you can see some of my content over there if you're already a member, just to kind of get an idea. And if you are in the DFW area, a fellow content creator who does marketing, her and I are going to start some collabs, so be on the lookout for that.
Shout out.
So I'm very excited, but
That's awesome.
so come follow me over on Instagram at Gravity Real Estate Marketing or on TikTok at Gravity RE Marketing.
Awesome. Well,
Perfect.
thank you so much for
Yes.
joining us,
So glad you
and
came
we're
on.
definitely going to have you back on for other podcasts.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
you're a ball
Yeah,
of knowledge. All right. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.